Hi friends, this is another session on communication skills in English. Welcome back. Because we missed a class on Tuesday, my session will be slightly longer today because I'm going to talk about voices and also vocabulary like synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, homophones and homographs. So let's start. Voices. DJ James Lewis sacked yesterday by Radio City. James had been given the job of DJ a month ago. Yesterday morning, he had an argument with a woman caller, Mrs. Neha Shetty. The argument was heard by the director of the radio station, Mr. Sunil Kashyap. The program was immediately stopped. Mr. Lewis was told to leave, and old Hindi songs were played for the rest of the show. The morning show on radio is listened to by over 1 million people. Mr. Kashyap commented, "Our listeners must be treated with respect. Mrs. Shetty shouldn't have been insulted. Mr. Lewis hasn't been offered his job back. If he had apologized, he wouldn't have been sacked. A new DJ will be chosen soon, and a letter of apology is being sent to Mrs. Shetty." Mr. Lewis later agreed to be interviewed by the Daily Express. He told the reporter, "I hope to be offered a job by another radio station. I was sacked for no good reason. I was being insulted by a silly woman. I was called a lot of rude names, so I insulted her back. What's wrong with that?" First, before we start with voices, we need to know the difference between subject and predicate. Subject is the person or thing performing the action. So the focus is on the subject because that comes at the beginning of the sentence. And this subject is what does the work. And the subject is usually a noun, pronoun, or a noun phrase. It's always a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase. And it usually precedes the predicate, except when you have a provisional subject. We'll come to that later. But it usually precedes the predicate. It comes before the predicate. The predicate indicates the action performed by the subject. It tells us what kind of action the subject did. Contains the verb, objects, and other elements. So from the verb onwards, verb, object, complement, everything else comes in the predicate. Usually comes after the subject. It follows the subject. Verbs and voice. Voice is the form verb A to indicate whether the subject of the word performs or receives the action. So the subject is the beginning of the sentence. Is at the beginning of the sentence. It is a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase. Now we need to know whether the subject is doing the action or receiving the action. So that is where our voices come into the picture. There are two types of voices, active voice and passive voice. Active voice. Active voice indicates that the subject of the verb is acting. So the subject does some action. That is, in other words, the subject is active because the subject does something. So it is in the active voice. Because the subject does or acts upon the verb in such sentences, the sentences are said to be in the active voice. That is, the subject performs the action. The subject does something. And the subject acts. And therefore, the sentence is said to be in the active voice.
Correct.
These examples show the subject is doing the action. The dog jumped on the boy. The dog is the subject and it is doing the action of jumping. So the dog is active. Katrina will give a book report to the class. Katrina is the subject and Katrina is doing the work. Okay? Either it's already done the work or is going to do the work or is doing the work at the moment. subject and she's going to do the work of giving. The cow ate my paper. The cow is a subject and it is doing the work of eating. So again, this is an action. Examine the following sentences. The cat killed the rat. The rat was killed by the cat. In sentence 1, the cat is the subject. The subject does the work, that is, kill the rat. In other words, the subject is active. Therefore, the first sentence is in the active voice. The passive voice is performed by using formed by using a form of the auxiliary verb be. That is, be, am, is, or, was, were, being, been. So these are used in the passive sentences, followed by the past participle form of the main. Past participle form, like we already studied in tenses, is the third form of the verb. The active voice, he loves action. Because the subject is being acted upon, that is, the subject is passive. The subject does not do anything to be. Sentence 2, subject, rat, does not do anything. It only receives the action. The subject is passive, their voice. The passive sentence is used when the doer or agent is either not known, unimportant. Like a subject performs the action, it is the passive voice. The subject receives the action, so the sentence is in the passive voice. Rat. These examples show the subject being acted upon the verb. The boy was jumped on by the dog. Boy, subject, was being jumped on is the verb. So the boy only receives the action. The boy is not doing the jumping. So boy is passive. A book report will be given by Christy to the class. Report is the subject. A book report, that is the subject. Will be given is the verb. My paper was eaten by the computer. Paper, subject, was being eaten is the verb. It's preferred to use active voice because it is more direct. Compare. The waiter dropped the tray of food. The tray of food was dropped by the waiter. So to compare these two sentences, when you use the active voice, it is more, whereas the passive is more hesitant, more like beating around the bush. You don't want to come to the point immediately. Use the active voice. The active voice is usually more direct and vigorous than the passive. I shall always remember my first visit to Boston better than my Boston will always be remembered by me. The latter sentence is less direct, less bold, and less concise. If the writer tries to make it more concise, my first visit to Boston will always be remembered is the sentence you get if you drop by me. But then it becomes indefinite. Who will remember it? I will remember it. Somebody else will remember it. The person I visited in Boston will remember it. Who? It becomes indefinite. Is it the writer or some person undisclosed or the world at large that will always remember this visit? Who? So it becomes very indefinite. In passive construction, we mention the person or thing that does the action. So now, passive construction, in the passive voice, we mention the person or thing that does the action. That is, the subject does the action. Andre subject ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So subject active ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು active voice ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The subject in this case is also called the agent. ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವವರು andre doer athava agent yaar ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. After the preposition by, act by Radio City. So the person doing the action, the thing doing the action is Radio City. So Radio City is the one that does the action, but the action was performed on him, he. So he, in this sentence, because he is the subject of this sentence, this is in the passive voice because he is not doing any action. He was being insulted by a silly woman. Listeners mustn't be insulted by DJs. So ನಾವು ಬೈ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ passive sentence ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೈ ಅಂತ preposition ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ we use the doer or the agent. We often use the passive when we want to talk about an action, but are not so interested in saying who or what does or did it. Passives without the doer are commonly used in academic or scientific writing, lab reports, for example, laboratory reports, for example. So here, now passive ಯಾವಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? Usually ನಾವು active voice ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. But passive ನಮಗೆ doer ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು passive ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. And usually ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು doer maybe not important or maybe not known, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತರ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು passive ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. And ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು usually scientific writing, lab reports ಅಂತದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. These pyramids were built around 400 AD. Many books have been written about the Second World War. The results have not yet been analyzed. Use the passive voice. In general, the passive voice is less direct, less forceful, and less concise than the active voice. Use the passive voice in the following situation. Use passive voice when you do not know or do not want or need to reveal the performer of an action. So ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ passive ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Use passive voice when you want to emphasize the receiver of an action. And then usually sentence nalli modal ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ receiver of the action ಅಥವಾ action itself ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು agent or doer is not important. So we don't put it in the active voice. We put it in the passive voice. When the agent is unknown, flats or sold, and was given a kiss. When the agent is not important, the house can be visited between 8 and 40. When we want to give importance to the object of the active voice, America was discovered in 1942 by Columbus. So Columbus mele nam focus illa illi. America was discovered is more important to us. The passive was used more in writing and formal speech, such as public information, rules, signs, brochures, media reports. ಇಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು passive ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Not permitted in this area. Bookings can be made online. A passive sentence is more formal than an active one. Where we will choose a new DJ soon. It is active and informal. A new DJ will be chosen soon, passive and formal, because you're just making a non-committal statement. ಯಾರು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. It will be a new DJ will be chosen ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. The passive voice is very common in English, especially in news reports, science and notices, scientific and technical description. In these contexts, we are more interested in the things that happen rather than what or who makes them happen. We normally begin a sentence with something that is already known or what we're already talking about and put the news at the end. This is another reason for choosing the passive. John is painting my portrait, active verb, so that the news, the portrait, goes to the end. So, yes, it was painted by my grandmother. Passive verb, so that the news, the painter, that is the grandmother, goes at the end. In order to keep talking about the same topic, it is sometimes necessary to switch between active and passive. He had waited for 2 hours before he was seen by a doctor. Then he was sent back to the waiting room. He sat there for another 2 hours. By this time, he was getting angry. Then he was taken upstairs and examined by a specialist, after which he had to wait for another hour before he was allowed to go home. So you notice in this, there is a mixture of active and passive voice in the same paragraph. This is normally how we use it in writing. And when we are writing a paragraph, this is how we use it. We mix up the active voice and the passive voice because it is more natural. The flow is more natural. Function is more natural than he had waited for 2 hours before a doctor saw him. Then they sent him back to the waiting room. So itara navu bari active nalle helidaga adontara unnatural ansutte. Conversion of active sentences to passive. Sentences in the simple tenses. That is simple present, simple past. Object of the active sentence plus be plus past participle form of the main verb plus by plus subject of the active sentence. So you notice in that chart there, the subject is the one doing the action in an active sentence, whereas the object receives the action. And when you change it to passive, the subject is the one that is receiving the action and the object is the one that is doing the action. The cat killed the rat. The rat was killed by the cat. Brad broke the window. The window was broken by Brad. How subject and objects change. When you use I in the subject, when you shift it to the object, I becomes me. Us, you remains as you. They becomes them. He becomes him. She becomes her. Ram is Ram itself. That is, any noun does not change its form. Book, no change in form. So you have to make sure that you change the position of the subject and object when you change from active to passive or passive to active. Otherwise, this is the kind of sentence you will end up with, which is nonsense. The mouse was eaten by the cat. But if you forget to change the subject and object, that is, if you forget to flip-flop subject and object, you have a sentence like the mouse ate the cat, which is nonsense. The active voice versus passive voice. The subject of the sentence is doing the action, whereas in the passive voice, the action is done on or upon the subject. The doer of the action is followed by the verb. The doer of the action is preceded by the verb. That is, the doer munche verb barutte. The receiver of the action is preceded by the verb. Andre, idhanalli object, which is the receiver of the action, is preceded. Andre, verb comes before the object. The receiver of the action is followed by the verb because the receiver becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Meaning is more clear and direct. Meaning can be confusing and indirect. The tone is authoritative and subjective. The tone is neutral or objective. Often, passive sentences will contain a by phrase indicating who or what performed the action. Passive sentences can be easily transformed into active sentences when the object of the preposition by is moved to the subject position in the sentence. Mary sang a song. A song was sung by Mary. Active. John ate the cake. The cake was eaten by John. The object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. The subject of the active sentence becomes an optional argument of the passive sentence. Andre, optional. You can just say a song was sung by Mary is only an option. If you choose to say who sung it, then you can say by Mary. Otherwise, now a song was sung anta hakbit full stop hakadre, it is a complete sentence by itself. This is called a by phrase. Some exceptions in changing the voice. Idannu ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿ. ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೈ ಫ್ರೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಬೈ ಫ್ರೇಸ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ನಾವು ಟು ಅಥವಾ in, at ಆ ತರ prepositions ಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೂ by ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಯೂಶಲಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 90% ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ by ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೋ ಇದ್ರೆ to ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ, contain ಇದ್ರೆ in ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ, alarm at, surprise at, cover with, astonish at, pleased with, displeased with, vexed with, satisfied with, shock at, infest with. ಈ ತರ ವರ್ಬ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಈ prepositions ಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ instead of by. For example, our lab is infested with mice. Lab is infested. Forms of the passive voice works. Voice requires a double verb and will always consist of a form of the verb to be. And the past participle, usually the en, ed, or t form of another word. Baked the cake. The bread by Pawan. Pawan baked the bread. The bread was baked by Pawan. So idralli namu kanishta ಎರಡು ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ the minimum number of verbs in the word group of a passive sentence is 2. Subject performs the action. This is the most common voice. The cat broke the lamp. The donkey likes to work hard. The girls planted the tree. It receives the action. The lamp was broken by the cat. Hard work was the tree was girls. The second one, please delete. Writers should be familiar with the forms of to be, often verbs, so that they can easily identify the passive voice in their work. I cannot stress this enough. ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ವಾಯ್ಸಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ದಿಸ್. Give you the forms of to be: am, is, or, was, were, be, being, been. Am, is, or, was, were, be, being, and being. No, in the examples the verb kick forms passive voice. Kicked different ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್, ಶುಡ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೀಸ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಬರೀ ಬಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Progressive tenses, object of the active sentence in either plus participle now made for in verb now is being
Email login ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ನಾವು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿ
ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವೈಫೈ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್
ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನ
ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಖೈರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಬಂತ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ Shall I continue? The active and the passive voice. Let's see how the sentence changes. Present simple. He delivers the letters. The letters becomes the subject of the passive voice. The letters and the letters is plural. Letters another bahuvachana aitu. He another ekavachana. So delivers, we use the verb in the singular. But because letters is plural, letters another bahuvachana. So bahuvachanadalliruvanta verb na use martivi. The letters are delivered. He delivered the letters. The letters were delivered. He will deliver the letters. The letters will be delivered. This is in the future simple tense. Present continuous. He is delivering the letters. The letters are being delivered. Past continuous. He was delivering the letters. The letters were being delivered. Going to. He is going to deliver the letters. The letters are going to be delivered. Present perfect. He has delivered the letters. The letters have been delivered. Past perfect. He had delivered the letters. The letters had been delivered. Infinitive. He has to deliver the letters. The letters have to be delivered. Modals. He must deliver the letters. The letters must be delivered. Important note. While changing a prepositional verb from active to passive voice, the preposition should not be dropped as it is a part of the word. For example, children laughed at the beggar. So laugh at is our prepositional verb. So at na navu bidabardu. The beggar was laughed at by the children. Parents look after their children. Children are looked after by parents. Mothers bring up children. Children are brought up by mothers. Meaning and grammar not always go together. Not all active verbs have active meanings. For instance, if we say that somebody receives something or suffers something, we are really saying that something is done to him or her. That is why many active verbs in English is translated into passive verbs in certain other languages. Some verbs can be used in both active and passive forms with similar meanings. He was drowned while trying to swim across the river, or he drowned while trying to swim across the river. Both are correct. It means the same thing. I worry or I am worried about him. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to be done. Both are the same. Many verbs such as give, send, show, lend, pay, promise, refuse, tell, offer. So verbs like these can be followed by two objects, an indirect object and a direct object. These usually refer to a person, which is usually the indirect object. The indirect object is usually a person, an animate thing, something with life. And a thing, which is a direct object. Two structures are therefore possible. Subject plus verb plus indirect object plus direct object. She gave her sister the car. Subject plus verb plus direct object plus preposition plus indirect object. She gave the car to her sister. Both these structures can be made passive. Indirect object becomes the subject of the passive word. Her sister was given the car. Direct object becomes the subject of the passive verb. The car was given to her sister. Verbs with two objects: bring, give, ask, pay, sell, offer, owe, show, tell, send, lend, leave, promise, take, teach, throw, write. These are some of the verbs which take two objects. They gave Susan a prize. Susan is indirect object. A prize is the direct object. Susan was given a prize, or you can say a prize was given to Susan. Both are correct. If the verb has two objects, we usually use the person as the subject in the passive. No one gave me any directions. I wasn't given any directions. Verbs with two objects. Some sentences have two objects, direct and indirect. Most of the times, it is more common to use the indirect object as a subject. So you see in that chart there, they showed me their last album. I was shown their last album by them. The choice between the two passive constructions depends on what has been said before or what we want to put last in the sentence. Structure, that is structure A, that is her sister was given the car, is the more common of the two. Here are some more examples. Usually, now ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಯಾಸಿವ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಯೂಶಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ರೂಲ್. The visitors were shown a collection of old coins. He was refused visa because he had been in prison. I've just been sent a box full of chocolates. Sometimes the preposition is dropped before indirect objects and before indirect object pronouns. This watch was given to me by my father. Explain and suggest cannot be used in structure A. The problem was explained to the children. The children were explained the problem anta helak agalla. So usually ನಾವು indirect object na use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, but ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸತಿ verbs like explain, suggest ಆ ತರ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು direct object na use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. The children were explained the problem ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪು. Though children is the indirect object. A meeting place was suggested to us. So it is wrong to say we were suggested a meeting place ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪು. The objects of prepositional verbs, that is verb plus preposition, can become subjects in passive structures. We have looked at the plan carefully. The plan has been carefully looked at. Somebody has paid for your meal. Your meal has been paid for. There's already a direct object. The second object, that is after the preposition, cannot become a passive object. They threw stones at him. Stones were thrown at him anta helbodu, but he was thrown stones at anta helodu tappu. They stole a bicycle from him. A bicycle was stolen from him, but it is not correct to say he was stolen a bicycle from anta helak tappu. Some sentences have clauses as their objects. These cannot normally become the subjects of passive sentences. Nobody thought that she was a spy. That she was a spy was thought by nobody, tappu. It's a nonsensical sentence. We felt that he was a right man for the job. That he was a right man for the job, etc. is not correct. However, passive structures are possible with the provisional subject it. It anta shuru aguanta sentence. It was thought, ಆ ಥರ sentence ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು passive ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. It was thought that she was a spy. It was felt that he was a right man for the job. It is said that his company is in trouble. A few verbs that are followed by infinitives, that is, infinitive is a 2 plus verb form. Decide, agree, that is, to decide, to agree, itara, can also be used in passive structures beginning with it. Decided to meet at 12. It was decided to meet at 12. We agreed to open a new branch. It was agreed to open a new branch. However, not all verbs can be used in this way. So, yella verbs nu itara use madlik sadhya illa. We hope to make a profit. It is hoped to make either the sentence becomes very awkward and it's not correct. Many verbs can be followed by an object as infinitive. He asked me to send a stamped envelope. We chose Ram to be the class monitor. They told us not to come back. In most cases, these structures can be made passive. I was asked to send a stamped envelope, which is in the passive sentence, which is in the passive voice. Ram was chosen to be the class monitor, passive voice. We were told not to come back, were told, passive voice. They were allowed to visit Raj once a week, were allowed, passive. With verbs like think, feel, believe, know, etc., the object plus infinitive structure is very formal and unusual. It's just balkenalli illa. They believe him to be dangerous. More common. They believe that he is dangerous is more common. They believe him to be dangerous another is unusual. However, the passive structure is common and often used in news reports. He is believed to be dangerous ಅಂತ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಯೂಶಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. She is known to have been married before. It is considered to be the oldest temple in India. Many Indians are thought to have accounts in Switzerland. Verbs like hear, see, make, and help are followed by object plus base form without two inactive structures. But in passive structures, the two infinitives are used. I saw him come out of the hall. He was seen to come out of the house and the hagtivi. He was seen coming out of the house and the helbodu. Because to come is the infinitive, here coming becomes the gerund. Let's not worry about that now. He made his wife do all the work. His wife was made to do all the work. They helped him get out of the country. He was helped to get out of the country. With some verbs like say, think, feel, report, assume, understand, the passive structure is possible with there as a provisional subject. There are thought to be more than 3,000 different languages in the world. It is thought that there are more than there was said to be a disagreement between ministers. It was said that there was a disagreement between ministers. Sentence. After some verbs, the direct object can be followed by an object complement. That is, a noun or adjective which describes or qualifies the object. In passive structures, these are subject complements and they are not used as subjects themselves. Queen Victoria considered him a genius. Here, a genius is the object complement. It complements the pronoun him. He was considered a genius by Queen Victoria. They elected Mr. Rao president. Mr. Rao was elected president. You have made the house beautiful. The house has been made beautiful. Many verbs refer to action that produce a finished result, that is cut, build, pack, close, etc. Their passive forms can have two meanings. They can refer to the action or they can refer to the result. The theatre was closed by the police refers to the action of closing. Andre, police close madidru avaru an action madidru. The action was closing of the theatre. When I got there, I found that the theatre was closed. Refers to the state of being shut, result of action. So action or close madirodrinda adardu parinama adu ivaga bandagittu muchittu. Types of sentences. A declarative sentence makes a statement. It ends with a period. An interrogative sentence asks a question. It ends with a question mark. An imperative sentence gives a command or a request. It ends with a period. An exclamatory sentence expresses a strong feeling. It ends with an exclamation mark. Imperative sentence. The imperative is formed with a word without a subject. The imperative sentence nalli navu starting alli imperative verb haktivi. Idakke subject irodilla. Open the door. Take an aspirin. Pay attention. These are imperative sentences. The negative imperative is formed with do not or don't and the verb. Don't touch that. Don't play with your brother. Active and passive with imperative sentences. These are sentences in which we express our feeling and emotions like command, order, advice, request, etc. Rules. Let's plus new object plus be or not be plus past participle or the third form of the verb. For sentences containing request, advice, and order, we use you are requested to, or you are advised to, or you are ordered to. Itra shuru martivi. Shut the door. Post the letter at once. Always speak the truth. Shut the door. Let the door be shut. Post the letter at once. Let the letter be posted at once. Sorry. Always speak the truth. Let the truth always be spoken. Do not starve the horse. Sorry. Let the horse not be starved. Let him help his brother. Let him help his brother. Let his brother be helped by him. Please do me a favor. You are requested to do me a favor. Get out of my house. You are ordered to get out of my house. Kindly do not smoke in a public place. You are requested not to smoke in a public place. The imperative sentence is changed from active to passive voice according to the message contained in the sentence. So the yav message korta ide, order idya, or request idya, yav. For this purpose, words are used as follows. If it contains an order or a command, you're ordered to or you're commanded to anta shuru martivi. If it contains a request, you're requested to. If it contains an advice, you're advised to antivi. If it contains a negative order, you're forbidden to antivi. If it contains let us, it is suggested that we should, or it is proposed that we should. Such sentences are changed by using let, also as let object be third form of the verb. Let object be third form of the verb. Athara. Learn this lesson. Let this lesson be learned. Common mistakes with active and passive. Some verbs need to have an active form, even if the meaning seems weak or inactive. This includes verbs like happen, occur, take place, exist, die, seen, be, itara verbs na ನಾವು active form ನಲ್ಲಿ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. These are never used in the passive. An accident was happened on the freeway ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ an accident happened on the freeway ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Two people were died ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲ. Two people died. Many kinds of trees existed on this island is the correct form. Or existed, present tense, so exist on this island. If you don't have an object, command sentence use you're commanded to, you're asked to, you're requested to, you're invited to. Keep quiet, you're asked to keep quiet. If the subject of an active sentence is a negation, no one, nobody, nothing, itara negative subject iddaga, if you change the form into passive, it needs to use the negation form as before. Andre ee negation na matte repeat ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. No one has ever lied to my father. My father has never been lied to. So ಇದನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು negation ನ verbal ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. Can anyone answer this question? Can this question be answered? If the sentence is an interrogative sentence, a sentence question agidre, can anyone answer this question anta active voice nallide? Can this question be answered? Can this question is answered? No, it's not correct. Can this question or answered? That's not correct either. Who opened the door? Who was the door opened by? So then our correct form would be by whom was the door opened. This is our correct form. Who plus be plus object plus the third form of the verb, that is the past participle form, plus by. Adanna now ಮತ್ತೆ change ಮಾಡಿ by whom plus be plus object plus past participle form, that is V3 form. Here is a list. Simple present. Sell, sells. Am, is, or with sold. Present continuously am, is, or selling. Am, is, or being sold agate passively. Present perfect. Have sold, has sold. Have or has been sold anta passive nal barutte. Simple past sold. Passively was sold, were sold. Past continuous was or were selling, was or were being sold. Past perfect had sold, had been sold. Simple future will or shall sell, will or shall be sold. Infinitive to sell, to be sold. We should keep in mind the agreement of the verb with the subject in the passive form. He buys an apple. To change this sentence into passive, we put the object as the subject. And apple is the object. It becomes the subject of the passive. Now the corresponding passive form buy, buys, is am, is, or bought. So an apple is bought. So the correct form would be an apple is bought. You can say by him or not. This is again the same thing. Reporters write news reports. active voice. The passive would be news reports are written by reporters. Mike is baking a cake. A cake is being baked by Mike. John Rees wrote White Sargasso Sea. White Sargasso Sea was written by John Rees. They were decorating the hall when I arrived. The hall was being decorated when I arrived. Please note, when you have a complex sentence, the voice is changed only for the main clause, not for the subordinate clause. Lisa recorded a song. A song has been recorded by Lisa. They are going to knock down the old library. The old library is going to be knocked down. I will make it tomorrow. It will be made tomorrow. The company hires new workers every year. New workers are hired by the company every year. So the same thing, I think you write the sentence down and try out all the various forms. You write the sentence, the company hires new workers every year. This sentence na neevene bere tenses with the corresponding passive voice, neeve try madnodi. If you want to change a passive sentence to active voice, find the agent in by the phrase. So a by phrase nalli agent hudkoli. Or consider carefully who or what is performing the action expressed in the word. Make that agent the subject of the sentence and change the word accordingly. Sometimes you will need to infer the agent from the surrounding sentences which provide the context. Sometimes passive in the active change maduvaga, there will be no agent. Now buying a bidbodu anta helidnalla. So buying a bittiro anta sentence nalli neevu en madbeku, somebody athwa he, she, they neeve ondu assume madkobeku athara infer madkondu neevu change madbekagutte. The book is being read by most of the class. So most of the class is the agent. Most of the class is reading the book. Phone call was made by Adam. Adam made a phone call. The footballs will be kicked by the boys. The boys will kick the footballs. Change the voice. They've built a new hospital. Can we interact? No time. Okay, let's try these. Change the voice. They've built a new hospital. Yaradidare? GPT Chamarajanagar, can you hear me? Kelsta idya?
Yeah, madam.
First sentence, they've built a new hospital. Either the voice change try martira. They've built a new hospital. They have built a new hospital. So idinalli subject have built is the word. A new hospital becomes the object. So ನೀವು object na first starting ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, subject ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. So a new hospital has been, sorry, mistake gently. A new hospital has been built by them. They're building a new shopping center. A new shopping center is being built. We'll finish it next October. It will be finished next October. The principal has forbidden smoking on the campus. Smoking has been forbidden on the campus. By the principal anta helidre helbodu, bitre bidbodu. They knocked down the old building last week. The old building was knocked down last week. They're going to build a new one soon. New one is going to be built soon. The job has been finished. He, she, they, he, she ge has haki, they hakadre have haki, finished the job. May God bless you with happiness. May you be blessed with happiness. This house was built by Kapil Shah in 1988. Kapil Shah built this house in 1988. The trees were blown down by the wind. The wind blew down the trees. I think we will just skip this because this kind of exercise, in all probability, you will not be asked in the exam. Maybe we will do just one of this exercise. Candido Jacuzzi was born in Italy in 1903. In 1913, he was taken to the USA by his parents. There he and one of his brothers nearly killed were nearly killed because he and one of his brothers were nearly killed when their homemade plane crashed. The boys forbidden so boys plural were forbidden by their mother to fly again. Instead, they invented a bath with a water pump, which was used to treat their father's arthritis. Candido Jacuzzi's great grandson, was lent $100,000 and $1 lakh by the bank to manufacture the bath as a luxury item, which is installed now. Because now another present in every American home. You can see a picture of the jacuzzi. Okay, let's try this last one. Bill is said to be difficult, but he had a difficult childhood. His parents were thought to have died when he was 14. He was sent to work on a farm. He was expected to get up at 5:30 a.m. and to work for 12 hours. He was considered to be a good worker. But when he was 16, he was found to have poliomyelitis, and he was believed to have spent 2 years in hospital. It was thought that there are over, or antirodrinda was hakbedi is thought. It is thought that there are over 1 million old people in Britain who can't look after themselves. It is reported that there are more than 200 old people who died of cold last winter. It is feared that most of them died because they had nobody to look after them. It is often said that this is one of society's biggest problems. It is expected that more old people's homes are built in the future. Last Thursday, Bill was given a boiled egg for breakfast. I was given a boiled egg 3 times this week. You know, I don't like boiled eggs. He got very angry. He was promised some toast and jam if he was quiet. He just got angrier. So he was given an injection to calm him down. The nurses refused to look after him anymore. So he was offered a room at another home. He was shown his new room, but he refuses to move. Now let's try some vocabulary. This is your antonyms, synonyms, homonyms, homophones, and homographs. A language user's knowledge of word. Vocabulary literally means a language user's knowledge of words. So nimge ಎಷ್ಟು words ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ನಿಮಗೆ vocabulary ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಬಳಕೆಯ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು, ಶಬ್ದ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಬ್ದ ಸಂಪತ್ತು. Synonyms are words that has the same meaning or similar meaning to another word. Exact same illa andrenu similar meaning andre samanantara pada. Similar means the same, means alike. So these are synonyms. The same way you have simple, easy, mad, angry, large, big, enjoy, like, giggle, laugh, shut, close, loud, noisy, begin, start, finish, end, difficult, hard, ivella synonyms. Ways to say sad in English: unhappy, sorrowful, melancholy, depressed, miserable, down, heartbroken, blue, gloomy, wretched. So ee tara sad anta ee tara words galna use ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು sad anta describe ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Sad andre sad is dukkha. ಸೊ ನನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ದುಃಖ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಈ ತರ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ವರ್ಣಿಸಬಹುದು. Synonyms: neat, tidy, nice, kind, pretty, beautiful, gift, present, loud, noisy, push, show, quiet, silent, tired, sleepy, sniff, smell, talk or say, tiny, small, smelly, stinky, trash, garbage, look, watch, write, record, sad, unhappy, slim, fat. There are some more: middle, center, laugh, giggle, idea, thought, end, finish, drop, fall, like, enjoy, large, big, happy, content, good, perfect, jump, leap, kid, child, hard, difficult, choose, select, make, create, bad, naughty. So these are some of the synonyms. Synonyms would be fast, prompt, rapid. Inhale, gasp. Synonym would be inhale, pant, puff. Can you think of another word for laugh? How about chortle, giggle, chuckle? These are synonyms of laugh. Synonyms for amazing: astonishing, astounding, awesome, fabulous, fantastic, incredible, marvelous, stupendous, unbelievable, wonderful. Words similar to boring: dull. Her stories are quite dull. Uneventful. It was an uneventful party. Dry. His lectures are very dry. Stale. He isn't funny. He tells stale jokes. Uninteresting. This is an uninteresting book. Monotonous. The meals at school are monotonous. Mind-numbing. This is mind-numbing work. My work can be repetitive sometimes. Repetitive, synonym of boring again. Tedious. This is a tedious homework assignment. Happy. You have so many synonyms for these words. Happy, delighted, jolly, thrilled, cheerful, pleased, ecstatic, content, glad, merry. Gloomy, sad, gloomy, miserable, upset, unhappy, destroyed, glum, pitiful, dreary, blue. Nice, considerate, attractive, beautiful, admirable, enjoyable, delightful, friendly, thoughtful, pleasant. Said, declared, announced, exclaimed, growled, shouted, whispered, replied, added, yelled. Small, tiny, petite, teeny, mini, miniature, puny, little, meager, measly. Big, monstrous, humongous, enormous, gigantic, large, huge, massive, giant, colossal. Good, marvelous, outstanding, amazing, super, excellent, fantastic, brilliant, pleasant, great, bad, awful, dreadful, unpleasant, rotten, lousy, nasty, mean, terrible, horrible. Went, approached, ran, darted, crept, strolled, passed, walked, proceeded, tiptoed, scared, afraid, frightened, fearful, nervous, panicked, alarmed, intimidated, anxious, worried. So these are some of the synonyms. You can go through them and maybe make them a part of your own vocabulary. Trite means not interesting or effective because of being used too often. Hackneyed, cliched, banal, or synonyms. Admire means to feel respect and approval for. Respect, esteem, regard. Curious, having a desire to learn or know more. Inquisitive, interested, inquiring. Brave, feeling or showing no fear. Courageous, intrepid, gutsy. These are some of the synonyms. Now let's go to antonyms. Antonyms means the opposite of synonyms. That is opposite word. Viruddha pada. Laugh, cry, blunt, sharp, fast, slow, push, pull, young, old, full, empty. Antonyms of words with opposite meanings. Happy, sad, open, close, cold, hot, male, female, fast, slow, harsh, gentle, up, down. Again, up, down, soft, hard, right, left, found, lost, front, back, empty, full, cold, hot, first, last, in, out, open, shut, wet, dry. Love, hate. Light, dark, empty, crowded, popular, unpopular, trusting, suspicious. Big, small, cheap, expensive, clean, dirty, curly, straight, difficult, easy, good, bad. After, before, always, never, ugly, beautiful, awake, asleep, below, above. Words instead of big, mighty, huge, big antane use madbekangilla. So sometimes when you do extempore, pick and speak, one of the rules is that you should not use the same words over and over. So you can use different words. Words instead of small, puny, diminutive. So mighty, puny, huge, diminutive anta antonyms hakobodu. Beautiful, ugly, big, small, cheap, expensive, early, late, difficult, easy, big, small, dark, light, close, open, left, right, happy, sad, cold, hot, expensive, cheap, off, on, top, bottom. So in the exam, we will give you 2 words for synonyms, 2 words for antonyms. You will have to just write the synonym of the given word and the antonym of the given words. Yeradu synonym ge kodtivi, yeradu antonym barile kodtivi. So ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಮ vocabulary ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ you will be able to do these words very easily. We just give you give the synonym of ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ give the antonym of ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟು 2 ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. 2 synonyms, 2 antonyms. Ugly, pretty, young, old, happy, sad, wet, dry, big, small, short, long. Slow, front, back. Wet, dry, wet, cold, hot. Big, small, short, fat, thin, slow, fast, strong, weak, young, old. So sometimes we form antonyms by using a prefix. Prefix andre word ge munche hakuanta letter or letters becomes the prefix. Un is a prefix. So un adjective munche navu un hakadre namge antonym barutte. Unkind, unable, unwise, unhealthy, unclean, unfaithful. But navu un anta ella adjective go hakakagalla. It again depends on the adjective. Some adjectives take in. Incapable, inanimate, insane, indecent, indefinite, inactive. But sometimes now P, M, L, R in the shuruago words again now annu hakakagalla, innu hakakagalla. Avaga now bere hakbekagutte. Im plus adjective usually now P in the shuruago anta adjectives. Impossible, impatient, impolite, immoral, immortal, immoral, immobile. Ill plus adjective, illegal, illogical, illegible. So L in the shuruaganta adjectives ನಾವು ill ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. R in the shuruaganta adjectives, irregular, irreverent, irreversible. ಈ ತರ ನಾವು prefix ಹಾಕಿನೂ ನಾವು antonyms ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Now you know all about synonyms and antonyms. So let's do homophones. Quickly go through homophones, homographs, homonyms. Homophones are words that sound the same but have different meanings and usually different spellings. So now pronounce ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but spelling ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, meaning ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Right, for example, WRITE, RIGHT ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ನಾವು right ಅಂತಾನೆ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. But WRIT idu meaning e bere, spelling e bere. RIGST idu meaning and spelling bere. Read, so read. Past tense of read is read. RED, read, is also read. Ate, ate. I. Sail, sail. Dear, dear. Now, vocabulary nalli namge antonyms, homographs, homophones, homonyms, synonyms. So, ee tara namge bere bere reetidu irutte. Antonyms are two words with opposite meaning. Young, old. Example. Homographs are words that are spelled the same but have different meanings and different pronunciations. For example, bow and bow. Bow ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬೋ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಬಗ್ಗವಾಗಿ ಯಾರಾನು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಬಗ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಾವ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. Homonyms are words that sound the same and have the same spelling but have different meanings. Bat, bat. ಎರಡು spelling same ide, pronunciation same ide, but meaning is different. Homophones are words that sound the same but have different meanings and different spellings. Idu ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ಹೂವಾಗೂ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. So flower and flower are homophones. Spelling is different, meaning is different. Multiple meaning words. Words that sound the same and have the same spelling but have different meanings. Bed, bed. So bed of flowers antivalla, adana bed. And bed andre ನೀವು ಮಲ್ಗೋದು, bed. Synonyms, two or more words with the same or similar meanings. Example, number, numeral, figure, digit, amount, ivellanu synonyms agutte. Homonyms are words that sound alike but have different spellings and different meanings. 8, 8, BB, cell, cell, flower, flower, night, night, 1, 1, CC, there, there, wood, wood. Synonyms, similar meanings, above, over, below, under, cry, weep, fix, repair, hard, difficult, home, house, late, tardy, road, street, small, little. Antonyms, opposite meanings. Asleep, awake, bad, good, close, open, false, true, happy, sad, left, right, more, less, over, under, sour, sweet. Homo means same. Nym means name. So homonyms sound the same. And they should even be spelled the same, but they have different meanings. So same spelling irbahudu, but meaning matra kandita different irutte. The dog can bark. The tree is covered in bark. See, bark, bark. Nai boguluduna bark antivi. Tree aache irodda, that rough part of the tree that is outside is a bark. Adunu navu bark antivi. See, you see the dog and you see the tree with the bark, the brown part, the outer covering of the tree is a bark. We walked along the river bank. I have to get money from the bank. River bank andre nadidu dada. Bank where you deposit your money. Homonyms, two words with the same form that are unrelated in meaning. Bank of a river or bank which is a financial institution. Bat, flying creature, or bat used in sports. Bat, the flying creature, bat used in sports. Mole, mole on the skin, andre ಚರ್ಮದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋ ಮಚ್ಚೆಗೇನು ಮೋಲ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಮೋಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It is a burrowing animal. This ಮಚ್ಚೆ on the skin, you can see the mole on her skin. This is a burrowing creature. It is a mole which lives underground. Race, contest. Race, ethnic group. ಇದು ಓಡೋದು, race. ಅಥವಾ all people of a particular region, race. Again, homonyms, rich, having lots of money. Rich, food with lots of food and sugar and fat. Hard, solid and tough. Hard can also be difficult. Pinch, A tiny bit of salt, a pinch of salt. Nodi ಒಂದು ಚಿಟಿಕೆ ಉಪ್ಪು. Squeeze the flesh. ಯಾರನಾನ ಗುಟ್ಟೋದು. Sorry, sore, angry. Sore can also mean aching. Store, a place that sells goods. Store can also mean to save. Store andre ಅಂಗಡಿನೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಯಾವ್ದಾನು ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಆ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. You rock, you rule. Really, you see the picture of a ruler. Rock, you rule. They both mean the same thing. Homonyms are like twins. They look alike, they sound alike, but they are not the same. Homonyms are words that are pronounced and spelled the same, but have different meanings. Homophones and homonyms. We use the term homonyms when one form, written or spoken, has two or more unrelated meanings, such as bank of a river, bank is a financial institution, atara. Homographs versus homophones. So homograph is our third type. Homographs refers to a set of words that share the same spelling, but different meanings regardless of their spelling. Spelling same irutte, but different meaning. Homograph andre the spelling same irutte, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ pronounce ಮಾಡೋ ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರದ್ದು meaning ಕೂಡ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Homophones refers to a set of words that share the same pronunciation. Homo means same, phone andre sound. So homophones are words that sound the same. Homograph is words that are written the same. Homographs may or may not have the same pronunciation. Homophones have the same pronunciation. Homographs have the same spelling. Homophones have different spellings. Homonym example, left, direction. So left hogi, right hogi, direction. Left, andre to leave behind. Bit hogodu. I left my purse, I left my phone at home. Nanu ivat maneli phone bit bande. Right? Correct. Right, again, as an opposite to left, direction. Stalk, part of a path. Stalk, following or harassing someone. State, a place within a country, like Karnataka is a state in India. State, andre, now helodukunu state antivi. State, Ohm's law antivalla. State means to say. Quarter can be 25 cents. In our case, 25 paise. Quarter is 1/4. Homophones, many words that sound alike or actually spelled differently depending on their meaning. Most computer spell checkers do not fix this. Incorrect. I was allowed to go out. Ivaga allowed antanu word English dictionary nalli ide. ALLOWED ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ allowed is also a word which exists in the dictionary. Both the words exist in the dictionary. So ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ALLOWED ಬರಿಬೇಕಾ ALOUD ಬರಿಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. I was not allowed to go out late ಅಂದ್ರೆ allowed ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ. Obviously in the first sentence ALOUD is not correct, but allowed is permitted, permission kododu. I was not allowed to go out late. Nange late agi aache hogak permission irlilla anta. Homophones, same words, sound the same, mean different things and are spelled differently. There, THEIR is there, THERE is also there. WHERE is where, WEAR is where. You need to practice to make sure you use the right one in your writing. Idanna practice madkonde kalibeku. Accept, accept. Aid, aid. Aid. See, accept means to take in. Accept means other than. Aid, assist or assistance. AIDE, aid, means one who gives assistance. The person who gives assistance is also an aid. Aid to the governor, so aid. 8, past tense of eat. 8, the number 8. Sell, small unit. Sell, SELL, sell. To give up for money, andre marodu. Dear, DEAR, loved one, valued. DEER is an animal. Ad is an advertisement. ADD, add, is to join or to combine. Air, Gali, atmosphere. Air, ERE, before. Blue, BLEW, blue andre past tense of blow. Gali, blow. Past tense is blow. Blue. Blue, BLUE, is a color. Scent is a penny. SCNT is odor, vasne. Flower, milkweed. Flower is also a plant. Hua. Advice, guidance. Advice, recommend. AISLE, aisle, a passage. Aisle, I apostrophe LL, aisle. Contraction of I will. Buy, BUY, buy means to purchase. Kondgolodu. By, near or through, is a preposition. BYE, buy, buy, antirala. Goodbye. Cite, CITE, is to mention or to quote. SIGST is vision. SIT is place. Site, mane katkodo anta jaga, site. Forward means a preface. Forward, mundak hogodu, related to direction, going forward. Homophones, words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. Homophones, CITE, SITE, SIGHT. I'll give you an example. Cite is a word meaning quote or refer to. She cited several studies in her research paper. SITE is a noun that refers to the location or placement of something. The site of the new building is near the old building. SIGHT, site. A site is something you see or a famous landmark. Sightseeing hogtirala, site. She came to New York City to see the sights. Sentences with homophone. I can see you. See is I can see you. The sea is beautiful. Samudra tumba beautiful agide. I can see you. The sea is beautiful. My dog's tail is black. Naige bala ide. TAIL, bala. This tail andre story, kathe, is interesting. Is 8 years old. Hello? 8. She ate a fish yesterday. Tinnodu. Again, there are lots of homophones with their definitions. Board, break. I suggest that you go through these words. Maybe you can write them down and make your own sentences. Go to the dictionary, find out the meaning, and make your own sentences rather than just copy the sentences that are already here. So if you make your own sentences, these words become a part of your own vocabulary. And chances tumba irutte. Board, B-O-A-R-D, board andre nimma blackboard or whiteboard. Board andre tumba bore hodiyodu. A plank of wood or characterized by boredom. Brake, gadige brake haktiralla, nilsodu. A mechanism that causes a vehicle to stop. Break, muriyodu, to smash to pieces. Heal, to restore to health. Heel, the hind part of your foot. It's a contraction of it is. It's andre a word that shows possession. Loose, L-O-O-S-E andre loose, dola, not securely attached. Lose, fail to win, solodu. Meat, M-E-A-T, meat andre mamsa, animal tissue used as food. M-E-E-T, meat andre meat agodu, to come face to face, beti agodu. Peak, P-E-A-K, the top of a hill or a mountain. Peak, P-E-E-K, is a verb. To look slyly or furtively, and kaddu muchi nododu, peak. Peak, to arouse, P-I-Q-U-E. Please note the spelling. P-I-Q-U-E means to arouse anger or provocation. Peel, sipetegyodu. And P-E-E-L, P-E-A-L, peel, is to make a loud sound. Peel, the bells peeled. Principle, P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, principle, clause, atara principle antivala, chief, main, most important. Principal, P-A-L, as a noun means the head of an institution, an educational institution. Principle, P-L-E, P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E, is again a noun which means a fundamental truth. The principle behind Archimedes' principle, antivi, the principle behind the computer, whatever. There, T-H-E-I-R, a word that shows possession. T-H-E-R-E, an adverb of place. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, a contraction of there. Through, past tense of throw. Through, T-H-R-O-U-G-H, a verb that indicates passage. To, preposition. T-O-O-to is an adverb. T-O-O-to also means excessively. To means also, to also means excess. T-W-O-2 is the numbers 2. Homographs. Graph means writing. Biography is the life writing. Homograph, same writing. Words that have the same spellings but sound different and have different meanings are homographs. Wind, wind. Bass, bass. Homograph, a word with same spelling but has different meaning. He has a bow and arrow. He took a bow. Wave, wave, to wave your hand, or wave of the sea, ale. Dove, dive, past tense of dive. Dove can also be a bird. Tear and tear. Tear andre aladu, kanniru. Tear andre hariyodu. Cool, cool, cool. Tumba cool agi tannagirodu. Cool, also look, oh, you look cool, man, antiralla. Yard. Yard can be 1 yard or nama hitulu. Court. Court is where you have the judges give their judgment. Court can also be a badminton court, tennis court. Stress in noun, verb, homographs. Remember, nouns stress on the first syllable. Now, nouns na pronounce madavaga, modalne syllable na pronounce martivi. Stress martivi. Verbs na pronounce madavaga, eradne syllable na stress martivi. For example, C-O-N-F-L-I-C-T can be a noun, can be a verb. You can, if it is a noun, you say conflict. If it is a verb, you say conflict. Content, content. Desert, desert. Contest, contest. Increase, increase. Homographs are words that spell the same but have different meanings. They may be pronounced differently. These are some of the common homophones here. It's definitely not possible to go through all of them, but if you can take a screenshot or something, you can go through them later. Homophones spell the same? No, no, no. Homophones sound the same. Homophones, when two words are identical in sound, they are homophones. Rain, rain, night, night. Homographs, when two words are identical in spelling, they are homographs. Tear, tear, lead, lead. Complete homonym or identical in both sound and spelling or complete homophone, but they have completely different meanings. Ball, bank, watt, scale, fast, idana eradu tara meaning barutte. Let's sort out all of this gibberish. Gibberish andre arthavagada padagalu maatu. See, then homophone, homograph, intara gibberish idu anta. Idana ondu ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು sort out ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ. Homophones sound alike. Male, male, M-A-I-L, M-A-L-E. May have the same spelling but different meanings. Homonyms sound alike and usually spelled alike. Watch, watch. Have to see how it is used in the context of a sentence to determine the meaning. Homographs, same spelling, different pronunciation, different meaning. I wind the toy. The wind is blowing hard. Homophones are one of two or more words such as night and night that are pronounced the same but differ in meaning, origin, and sometimes spelling. The words heir and heir. The prince is the queen's heir. H-E-I-R. A-I-R is Gali. I love the fresh air. The words fire and fire. The flames of the fire glowed brightly. The boss will fire the bad employee. And aunt, bye. So again, there are some more such words here. The form is used to produce. So produce, verb. Produce, noun. Produce andre ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ vegetables and fruits or produce. The dump was so full that it had to refuse more refuse. Refuse andre ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. Refuse andre trash, garbage, kachata. The soldier decided to desert his desert in the desert. So these are again Homo Phones. Desert, bitbidodu. Andre throw it away. In the desert, andre marulu bhumi. Since there is no time like the present, he thought it was time to present the present. Present can be the present past, ivaga, vartamana kala. Present, ivaga. Present again can be a gift. I did not object to his object. I had to subject the subject to a series of tests. Homographs are fun actually if you go deeply into it. Spruce tree, spruce up. Suit yourself. Wore a suit, udupu. Weigh on the scale. Scale the wall. The price is fair. Go to the fair. Jatre, fair. Nyayavagide. Addition. For math, edition of a book. These are homophones. Addition, edition. They sound very similar. I want to go. I like it too. 1 plus 1 is 2. Capital building or state capital. Capital building is like our Rashtrapati Bhavan is a capital building. State capital, Bengaluru is the capital of Karnataka. Pick a flower. Bake with flour. Desert, abandon, bitbidodu. Desert, marulu bhumi. Fish, bass is an instrument. Close, nearby, hatra. Close, muchodu also. Bow, bow, to bend down. Bow, ribbon. Few examples. Be careful around the figurines because they break easily. Press gently on the brake to slow the car down. We saw a grizzly bear while vacationing in the mountains. I can't bear this burden any longer. The cupboards are bare. The poor man only had 1 cent to his name. I loved the scent of gardenias. That poem is very dear to me. There were 7 deer grazing in our pasture. I hope my plants don't die in this heat. Rebecca wants to dye her hair purple. The recipe calls for 2 cups of flour. She put a single flower in the vase. Vegetarians do not eat meat. Where shall we meet for lunch? Let's go buy a new pair of shoes. The fruit contained a banana, an apple, and a pear. Pear is again another kind of fruit. My son is presently in the military. The sun is hidden behind the clouds. Katie went to town. I want to go to town too. Why don't the two of us go to town tomorrow? My hair is a mess. Have you read the story about the tortoise and the hare? Have you seen, let's try to do this. Have you seen the dash just brought to the zoo? D-E-A-R, D-E-E-R. Here, zoo nalli pranigal tane irutte. D-E-E-R is jinke. So D-E-E-R is the right answer. I dash like you to join the girls tomorrow. W-O-O-D, W-O-U-L-D. So here, would is an auxiliary. W-O-U-L-D is the correct answer. He can dash you with the stories of his bear, amuse or amaze. amuse you, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಹರ್ಷಗೊಳಿಸಬಹುದು. The old folks tell an interesting dash about the origin of Mayan volcano. Tale, tale. Tale andre kathe. T-A-I-L andre bala agutte. So T-A-L-E is the correct answer. Use your dash hand in pointing to the places on the map. R-I-G-S-T or W-R-I-T. Right andre bariyodu. W-R-I-T is bariyodu. R-I-G-S-T is balagai. So balagai torsi. She went dash her dance exercises with great enthusiasm. She threw. She went through. Went through andre T-H-R-O-U-G-H anta irbeku. T-H-R-E-W andre bisakodu. The ship will dash any minute now. S-A-I-L, S-A-L-E. S-A-I-L andre sail madodu. Neer mele hogodu. S-A-L-E andre sail that you see in shops. S-A-L-L, S-A-L-E is the noun form of sell. The children dash the animals in the zoo. See. Nododu athwa samudra. Illi children in the zoo nalli nodidru. So the children see the animals in the zoo. S-E-E. The pitcher ball with great energy. Through. Ivaga bisakodu. Pitcher is the person who throws the ball. And dash the feather out of his hand. The man blew the feather. So B-L-E-W. Which homophone correctly fits sentence? She decided to ADD or AD. Him in her group. Add. Seriskolodu ADD. We were told he had a weak arm. Weak andre no strength. W-E-A-K. W-E-E-K andre the week, 7 days of the week. Your. Y-O-U apostrophe or E. Or Y-O-U-R, which is correct. You're not a good friend after exposing my secret the way you did. So you are the contraction. So you are Y-O-U apostrophe or E. Mom asked if I would help Dad. Haul. Haul andre yarkondu hogodu. Horodu. Haul andre haul your classroom. Haul your manedu angada. The wood down the hill. Haul andre horodu. So H-A-U-L. We wanted to go through the gate, but had to go around to the door entrance like everyone else. Through. To go through the direction. Through andre of course bisakadagutte. So T-H-R-O-U-G-H is the right answer. My brother could not ride the bus home because he didn't have enough fare for the full route home. Fare andre bus charge. F-A-I-R andre fare of face andre nodak belligirodu athwa jatre agutte. We had to pedal really fast on our bikes to get away from the dogs. Pedal andre fast pedal madodu. P-E-D-A-L. Pedal andre ಒಂದು ಹೂವಿಂದು ದಳ. Conclusion. The studying of the homonymy andre study of homonyms is homonymy is very important for the English language because this phenomenon in the English language is very common. One of the values of becoming familiar with homonyms is that they help to make language visible. Homonyms help students to be flexible and effective users of the language. So nimge ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಮೋನಿಮ್ಸ್ ತಿಳಿದಿದೆ ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ your description ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನೀವು descriptive writing ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ it becomes more colorful. You will be able to make more impact when you talk or write. Both homonymy and polysemy are very widespread phenomena and part of the natural state of language. Polysemy andre same words with lots of meanings. Homonyms are same words with different origins of the words. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ the language becomes more colorful. 14 tips to help you speak English faster. So ನೀವು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಏನಾನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಸಿದ್ರೆ these are some tips for you. Learn and study English phrases. So English phrases na ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Reading and listening is not enough. practice speaking what you hear. ಬರೀ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕಲೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಷ್ಟೇ ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು. Surround yourself with English. So just make sure that you talk English. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಂಗೇನೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ. Make English friends and chat with them. Make English friends ಅಂದ್ರೆ people who can speak English and ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Listen to real English. ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಕಲೀರಿ. ನೀವು ದಾಟ್ ಬೊಟ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಬಟ್ಲರ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಲಿಯಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. Find fun ways to learn new words. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. ತಪ್ಪು ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್, ಯು ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯೋರ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. Find study partners. Use authentic materials. Set yourself realistic goals. So ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಡ್ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ. ಒಂದ್ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ಗೊಂದು 10 ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ ಕಲಿತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ನೀವೇನೋ ಒಂದ್ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ 100 ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. Train your ears to understand and speak bravely. So ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರಿ, ಯಾರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರ, ಆ ತರ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So you train your ears. Stop translating everything word for word to your language. So ಆದಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ನ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಇಡಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ನೀವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೊಸ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕಲೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Don't apologize for not knowing everything or not speaking English. You're learning English. You're trying, right? That's what's important. ನನ್ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಅಪಾಲಜೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ನೀವು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ, that's important. You're trying. Throw your grammar book out the window. ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು, ಅದಾಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೀವು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ನೀವು ಕಲಿಯೋದು. ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಿಂಡೋ. ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸೆಟ್. ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರಾಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕಲಿಯೋದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ learn to speak. That's all for this session. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful day.